This conference will now be recorded.
Door closes. Good morning, students. Today's topic pox viruses. You already know very well about all the general characteristics of viruses. Viruses are obligate intracellular pathogens. Okay, they need some living matter for their growth and survival. Okay, means not like that bacteria, fungi, and other parasites. Okay, these viruses need any virus need some living thing, living matter for their survival and growth. They are obligate intracellular pathogens or parasites. They need they in that structure of virus, any virus, they lack biochemical machinery to synthesize their own needs, so that they depend on host cells or host biochemical machinery. That's why they are dependable. They can't survive outside the cell. And also these are very small in size. If we see the measuring units of virus, these are measured in nanometers, nm, nanometers. Okay, if we see the bacteria, measurement units is in microns or micrometers. These are nanometers, very small in size. Okay, so next, if we see the introduction of pox viruses are the largest virus among all the viruses. Okay, this is very important for Viva. Very large virus is pox virus. Size is 400 into 200 in nanometers in diameter. Okay, among all the viruses, this is the largest virus and most complex viruses. Okay, these pox group of viruses are largest virus and exhibit most complex structure. And this nucleocapsid does not exhibit any symmetry. Okay, for some virus they have special type of symmetry, but here pox viruses does not exhibit any type of symmetry, so that we are considering this structure is complex or complex symmetry. And all the agents, I mean all the viruses in this group are similar in their morphology and antigenic structure. Okay, all are shared common nucleoprotein antigen. Coming to the general morphology of pox viruses, we already discussed this. These viruses exhibit complex structure, and if we see the shape, brick shaped or ellipsoid shape. See, this is the sorry, this is the structure of pox virus, brick shaped or ellipsoid shape. So it is envelope outer, this is enveloped DNA virus. Outer envelope contain two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. This is outer membrane, this is inner membrane, two layered envelope. Pox virus covered with two layered envelope. Okay, see, and this envelope encloses the core or nucleocapsid. This is nucleocapsid. This nucleocapsid consists of thousands of capsomeres. These round structures are capsomeres. This is This is called core or nucleocapsid. Okay, this core is enclosed within double layered envelope. See the structure carefully, very, very important. Okay, then inside this core or capsid, okay, these round structures are capsomeres. Nucleocapsid made up with capsomeres. Okay, inside this contain, sorry, double strand double stranded, this is double stranded genome, double stranded linear DNA. See, it is not coiled, linear one, linear DNA genome in pox viruses or double stranded DNA. Okay, linear pattern, arranged in linear pattern. And also this core inside also contain number of enzymes. Okay, mainly major ratio here inside the core is transcriptases. Okay, this is the structure of pox virus. Okay, so we already discussed this this pox virus is having complex structure, brick shaped or ellipsoid. If we see the diameter 400 into 230 nanometer in diameter, largest viruses among the all viruses, this is pox virus is largest one, very important for viva. Next, envelope contain two lipoprotein membranes, we already discussed. It encloses core and two structures. These two structures are called lateral bodies. Okay, next, core are the nucleocapsid is biconcave or dumbbell shaped, we already discussed. Okay, double stranded DNA. And another important point here is it is the only DNA virus that replicates in the cytoplasm. This is also very, very important point in this morphology. Okay, usually viruses can replicate either in cytoplasm or in nucleus, but all DNA viruses, all human DNA viruses replicate in nucleus except this pox virus. Okay, this is the important point here. Next, some important interesting points about this pox virus. Okay, this is the largest and most complex viruses. These are the largest and most complex viruses. These are very resistant to inactivation. Okay, means they can survive uh, at room temperature for few months. In a refrigerator, in I mean in a cooling temperature, they can survive up to years. Okay, so they are very resistant to inactivation. Then these virus encoded proteins help to evoke post immune defense system. Okay, and another important point here, this smallpox, this disease causative agent is variola virus. This is one of the, this variola belongs to pox virus family. This smallpox was the first viral disease eradicated from the world. Okay, now we are in a drastic and very danger pandemic, so very, very important these points now. Okay, this was the smallpox was the first viral disease eradicated from the world. World Health Organization announced the global eradication of smallpox on 8th May 1980. Next, coming to the cultivation. Okay, so uh, we already discussed in the beginning, viruses are small intracellular obligate intracellular pathogens. They can't survive, they can't grow outside the cell, means they can't grow on inanimate media like blood agar, chocolate agar and all. They need, virus need some cell or living thing for their growth. So if we see the general cultivation methods of virus, three types of methods mainly. One is animal inoculation, second one is important one, embryonated egg, third one is tissue culture. Okay, nowadays tissue cultures are using in many labs. Okay, if you see the tissue cultures, here monkey kidney, HeLa, and chick embryo cell lines are used for this cultivation of the pox viruses. Okay, we can see the cytopathic effect. CPE means cytopathic effect for after 24 to 48 hours of inoculation. Okay, for vaccinia virus. But if we see the variola, these cytopathic effects appear slowly. Okay, for vaccinia virus, the cytopathic effects appear within 24 to 48 hours after inoculation. Okay, but variola virus, the CPE appears very slowly. Okay, that is the one differentiating point between vaccinia and variola. Okay, next we can see the inclusion bodies. These are eosinophilic inclusion bodies. We can see in the uh, cytoplasm. Okay, they are called guarneri bodies. Okay, very important, guarneri bodies. These are the inclusion bodies of pox viruses. And another, in addition to all these above points, vaccinia virus can produce plaques in chick embryo tissue culture. Okay, only vaccinia virus able to produce plaques in the chick embryo tissue culture. Okay, variola does not produce any plaques. Next is coming to embryonated egg, chorioallantic membrane. Okay, if we inoculate on chorioallantic membrane, we can see the formation of pox on CAM, chorioallantic membrane, in within 48 to 72 hours. Okay, this is very very important. The morphology of this pox formation is different between variola and vaccinia. Okay, based on this pox formation on cam, we can differentiate variola from vaccinia pox. Okay, vaccinia virus. If we see the pox formed by variola, they are the small, shiny, white, convex, non-necrotic and non-hemorrhagic. Okay, pox formed by variola virus are very small. They are little shiny, white, convex in appearance, non-necrotic and non-hemorrhagic. Okay, if we see the vaccinia pox, completely opposite. They are larger in size, irregular, grayish, flat, necrotic and hemorrhagic. Okay, see, this is the this is the pox formed by variola, small, shiny and all. This is the pox formed by vaccinia, large pox, small pox, large pox on chorioallantic membrane of embryonated egg. Next, coming to the antigenic structure, we already discussed in the introduction. All the members of this group exhibit common nucleoprotein antigen. Okay, addition to this, all exhibit a LS antigen, means complex of heat labile and heat stable antigen called LS antigen. LS means labile and stable. Next, agglutinogen and hemagglutinin. All these are the different antigens exhibited by pox virus. Next, classification of pox viruses. Okay, pox viruses causing human disease. These are mainly, we have so many viruses. Some are causing infections in human and some are in animals or birds. Okay, some viruses causing infection in both human and animals. Okay, for you, among all these, for you important are variola, vaccinia and molluscum contagiosum. These three diseases, these three viruses are important for you. Okay, so important members among all these include variola. Okay, this is very very important for you. This is the major pathogen in this pox virus group. variola, this is the causative agent of smallpox. Okay, the disease was already eradicated, but very important. Next one is vaccinia. It is usually this vaccinia causes less infection compared to variola. I mean less pathogenic. It was used before as a vaccine for smallpox. uh, we already discussed in the beginning class historical introduction, historical events 3, Edward Jenner. We discussed about this vaccine preparation and all. Okay, so this vaccinia used as vaccine, preparation of vaccine against variola. Okay, another one, molluscum contagiosum virus. It causes warty lesions called molluscum contagiosum. Okay, so this is also important. These three are the important viruses for you among all pox viruses. Okay, first coming to variola virus. First, this is the causative agent of smallpox. Okay, it have a narrow host range, I mean confined to only a few host, I mean humans and monkeys only, narrow host range. In other host it does not survive and does not exhibit any infection or does not evoke any response. Okay, only narrow host range. And smallpox epidemics appeared in two forms. Okay, florid form, this is very fatal disease, and alastrim, this is non fatal disease. This variola is very important. Okay, florid and alastrim. Florid is fatal disease, alastrim is non fatal disease. Okay, a group of these variola viruses causes small classical smallpox infection are called variola major. Okay, some group of variola viruses causing alastrim type of infection called variola minor. Okay, nothing difference between variola major and minor, there is nothing different, but based on their pathogenic capacity. Okay, so some both exhibit same type of antigenic structure, and all characteristics and morphological characteristics are similar. Cultural characteristics also similar, cytopathic effects also similar, but some a group of variola viruses responsible for classical smallpox is called variola major, and group of viruses responsible for alastrim type, I mean non-fatal disease, are called variola minor. Okay, this is about introduction. Coming to pathogenesis. See, portal of entry is through mucous membrane of URT, upper respiratory tract. Okay, this is the route of entry. Enter virus enter through mucous membrane of upper respiratory tract. Then primary multiplication occurs in the lymphoid tissue. Okay, so after primary multiplication, it leads to transient viremia. Okay, this transparent viremia, and it is again then it leads to infection of RBC and reticuloendothelial cells at this stage. Then second phase of multiplication occur after primary multiplication, it leads to transient viremia, then it infect all the blood cells and or reticuloendothelial cells. Then secondary phase of multiplication occur. Here a secondary more intense viremia occur after secondary multiplication, then it leads to clinical disease. See, if we see the flow chart, see here, very easy to you, portal of entry. Okay, how I mean mucous membrane of upper respiratory tract. So after entry, it multiplication occurs at the lymphoid tissue draining the site of entry, means regional lymphoid tissues. Okay, primary multiplication. Then causes transient viremia and infection of RBC. Okay, next this viremia, after this it spreads throughout the body, then secondary multiplication occur. This secondary, then it leads to secondary intense viremia, then sets up clinical disease. Okay, this is the pathogenesis of smallpox. Coming to clinical manifestations, incubation period is 12 days. Okay, we can see general fever, malaise followed by appearance of exanthema. Okay, next, here very important, rash. First papule occur, then this rash, first papular in appearance, then we can see vesicular formation, then pustules, and then last it form crust. Okay, this is the pathology of rash in smallpox infection. Rash, first papule, next vesicle formation, next it converted into pustule, and then crust. Okay, so another important point here, this distribution of rash is centrifugal distribution, means first palm and sole and extensor surface were affected first, then fever subsided with appearance of rash. Okay, lesions are most abundant on the face, less on the trunk. Okay, this is the clinical manifestations of smallpox. See the picture. Person affected with smallpox. See, more, we can see more lesions on face. Okay, less on trunk. See, less. See, this is smallpox. Next, coming to lab diagnosis. Okay, specimens or material from skin lesions or blood. Demonstration of virus, direct demonstration of virus by using electron microscope. Virus isolation by, we already discussed, chorioallantic membrane of chick embryo. So on CAM, this is variola. So it will form what type of, what is the morphology of pox on CAM by variola? Small, shiny, non-necrotic, non-hemorrhagic pox. Okay, cell cultures like monkey kidney cells, HeLa, and chick embryo cells we can use. Next, viral antigen isolation demonstration by precipitation and RT-PCR. Here, for this variola, serological tests also available for the detection of antibodies. These antibodies appear after first week of infection. These are detected by hemagglutination test, ELISA, radioimmunoassay, indirect fluorescent tests. Okay, these are the different tests for lab diagnosis of smallpox. Next, treatment, vaccinia hemoglobulins can be used as passive immunization. Next, antiviral drugs, methicillin and cidofovir used. Coming to the prophylaxis. Okay, everybody knows, and one attack of smallpox give complete protection against reinfection. Okay, otherwise vaccination with vaccinia induced immunity against variola virus for at least 5 years. Okay, this vaccine is live preparation of vaccinia virus. Time of vaccination is between 1 to 2 years of age. Okay, vaccine, this smallpox vaccine means live vaccinia virus vaccine for smallpox does not, should not give this smallpox disease was eradicated. So only two labs hold these smallpox virus strains for the research and vaccine preparation purpose. One is CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Atlanta, USA, and another one is Center for Research on Virology and Biotechnology, Russia. Next, these points are very important in present situation. So concentrate here. Okay, reasons that made eradication successfully. Okay, what are the different reasons for the eradication of this viral disease? Okay, first one is variola was an exclusively human pathogen. There is no animal reservoir. And source, patients were the only source. There were no carrier states for this variola. And case detection was easy due to specific characteristic appearance of rashes, and subclinical cases were not transmitted the disease. Okay, next, uh, global smallpox eradication program was launched in 1967 by World Health Organization. With a strong international cooperation and intense effort, they can remove this disease within 10 years. Okay, means after launching the program, after 10 years, 1967, eradicated in 1980. So, with the strong international cooperation between countries. Okay, next, that Jenner developed highly effective live vaccinia virus vaccine for this virus. These all are the different points, different factors that made eradication successfully. Next one is vaccinia virus. Okay, origin of this vaccinia virus not known. Okay, it is artificial virus, does not occur in nature as such. Okay, it needs some another virus for their survival. May have evoluted from cowpox or smallpox virus. So this is called artificial virus. This mainly used for smallpox vaccination and causes a localized skin infection, and that also self-limiting. Okay, this vaccinia virus is not that much danger compared to variola. It used this used as a vector for incorporating the genes for the protective antigen. This is also this was also used for the development of recombinant vaccines. Vaccinia and variola are similar in their properties. Okay, so that's why this vaccinia virus used for the development of recombinant vaccines against variola virus. See, this is a self-limiting rash caused by vaccinia virus. Next, other pox viral diseases. Monkeypox. This disease is very rare one. Zoonosis, zoonotic disease. Like symptoms, and we can see the lymphadenopathy, pulmonary lymphadenopathy, and pulmonary distress, and second bacterial infections. All these are we can see in monkeypox infection. Next, coming to the cowpox. This is also common disease in cows. Okay, we can see the ulcers and teats and udder of the udder of the cows. Human infection transmitted during milking. Okay, the lesions confined to the hands in humans. This associated with fever and lymphadenitis. See the, so this is a way of transmission, direct transmission from the lesions of cow teats and udder to human. So that's why during milking, so infection confined to only hands and fingers. This is the lesion of cowpox in animals. This is the cowpox rashes in humans. See on finger. This is a cowpox lesions on teat of cow. See. Next, another pox virus, contagious pustular dermatitis, also called ORF virus. This is common in sheep and goats, transmitted to human by direct contact. This is also cause central ulcerating lesions. Okay, next another virus, Tanapox. Okay, this Tanapox is also mainly causes rashes on upper part of the body. This is acquired by insect bite. Next, another important pox virus disease is molluscum contagiosum. I already discussed with you. This is seen in children and young adults. Lesions are small pink warty like tumors. Okay, commonly affecting sites are face, arm, back, buttocks and genital area. This infection is more contagious, spreading by direct and indirect contact also. Okay, sections of these lesions show molluscum bodies. Okay, these molluscum bodies where we can see in cytoplasm. Okay, and vaccinia virus form, sorry, variola virus form Guarnerian bodies. These two are the molluscum and Guarnerian bodies are inclusion bodies. Okay, these are eosinophilic hyaline inclusion bodies which displace the nucleus to the margin. This disease also transmitted sexually in young adults. See the molluscum contagiosum lesions. See, warty-like tumors. So, this is about pox viruses. Any doubt, students? Any doubts regarding pox viruses? Variola is very important among all pox viruses, and this is largest group of viruses, brick shaped, complex structure, having complex structure. Variola is very important. Molluscum contagiosum also important.